Hello and welcome to Knit in the Womb Designs, where we do all of your left-handed knitting tutorials. We are in the beginner series lesson episode 12, and this week we are working on cable to front. This usually shows up as C2F, and this is what it's going to look like. If you're left-handed, remember, if you're right-handed, this would actually be flipping the other way. So that's an interesting thing to note when you're doing left-handed knitting. When you do cables, your cables will be backwards. They will twist the opposite direction. So when you're looking at your pattern, you'll be making your cables along and you go look at your pattern, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I did them wrong. They're backwards. No. You're backwards, right? I tell people this all the time when they comment, is your video backwards? No, I'm backwards. I'm left-handed. I work the opposite direction because we work left to right. Our cables will be opposite, okay? And that's okay. It just makes your cables unique. Now, as you get better at this, you may want to flip your cables the other direction, and you'll learn how to do that with time. But right now, just understand your cables will look backwards from the cables in the pattern, and that's okay, okay? But let's get started. So I usually, not gonna lie, have the horrible habit of putting my cable needle in my mouth when I need it. So let's get to our cable. This is our first cable, okay? Now it will tell you how many rows in between. I just kind of threw this swatch together to show you. I have 3 in between, 3 rows, and you can count them. 1, 2, 3. You will count from where the twist happened, okay? That's how many rows are in between. So if you're working along, you're like, I forgot how many rows I did. You can just go 1, 2, 3. I did 3. Okay, it's time for a cable. So now we're doing cable to front. So what that means is you are going to take these next 2 stitches and put them on your cable needle, and you're going to hold them in the front. And then you are going to knit these next 2 stitches off of the needle, and then you're going to knit the 2 stitches off of the cable needle. This may feel really awkward for you at first, trying to juggle 3 needles. I promise you with time, you'll get more comfortable with it. Let's try that again. Okay. Usually between cables, you'll see purls. Not always, but typically there will be purls in between. So we're going to take the next 2 stitches off and put them on a cable needle. And then we're going to knit the next 2 stitches off of our right hand needle. And then we're going to knit these 2 stitches on the cable needle, okay? And that's how you do a cable to front. So you cabled, right, 2, held them in front. That's why it's called that, okay? Now when it comes to cable needles, there are different shapes. This is pretty much your standard shape. There are some that are like a U, and some people will just use a double pointed needle. That's fine. I personally will usually just use a large plastic stitch marker. It's a little bit smaller, and I can hook it in my stitching so I don't have to hold it, and I don't have this getting lost somewhere. That's what I personally like. But that is how you make a cable to front. If this was helpful for you, make sure you share this with somebody that you think this could help, and you like and subscribe. Happy knitting!